How do? My name's Terry Bush. Now, I kind of make it a point to not talk about religion that much because it's private, isn't it? Like there's loads of things that are private that people shouldn't talk about, like, religion, politics, their children. No one wants to hear about that, do they? But religion's just going to come up by proxy because I was thinking about that guy, Tony Freeman. He was from round here and I went to school with him actually. But he was the one that ended up in that cult, if you remember reading about it. It were in the Mercury and it were in some of the national papers, Red Tops and all. But he was dead religious when he were a kid, I remember. Like he did Boys Brigade and Beavers and Sunday School and, but apparently nothing ever happened to him because he were around that Father David a lot and he's in Nick now for 40 years, isn't he? But apparently nothing happened to Tony. He must have just been a very unappealing child or an unhygienic one or, just a big mouth liable to snitch or something. But he was dead religious and he got like disillusioned with modern religions, so mainstream religions, and he kind of like gravitated towards more esoteric stuff. He ends up joining this cult. Now he doesn't know it's a cult at the time because they don't sell it like that, do they? And it's called the Sons of the Reflected Teeth. I don't know, but there was a clue in the title to the end game, Sons of the Reflected Teeth, not daughters or mothers or children, sons. So it was this, in the paper, it were a secret gay cult. No one ever knew. It were run by a bloke called Richard Antrobus. He changed his name though to something more exotic because his real name was Clive Antrobus. But, from Clive to Richard, it's not really much of it. There's nothing wrong with the name Richard, but I'm just saying if your name's Clive and you want it to be more exotic, Richard's hardly a big jump, is it? He could have had anything, Balrog, Eagle, Pazuzu. So Clive, well, he was from Burnley, so Clive's probably dead exotic there because they're all like Neils and Ians, isn't they? So he joins this Richard Antrobus's cult. At first, all looks above board. You go and you work, and there's like a hierarchy. You work your way up in the religion, which is a cult, secret gay cult. And I feel bad saying the word gay over and over again like it's bad. It's not bad, I'm not trying to imply that. I mean, there's nothing wrong being gay. I've played rugby for a couple of seasons, so, I've probably veered towards it, especially after the games. But, I don't know what's a nice euphemism for being gay. Takes his peas minted, or I don't know, sews his own buttons or something, or takes his own bags to shopping. Anyway, so this Richard Antrobus takes his peas minted. He gets him in and starts learning them all sorts. And at first, you have to wear the same thing. They're all wearing grey jogging pants and a sweatshirt. Looks like a youth offender's, a lot like it. They're getting 3 meals a day and they're grafting and they're getting instructed. Now this is in Hibbaldstow in Grimsby, in an old stately home that he'd inherited it or conned it. Could have been squatting, I don't know. You'll find all this in the papers or on the internet web. So he gets them all in and recruits them, and you learn and you move through the stratifications closer to the wisdom, closer to the source, the prophet, Richard Antrobus. Right, so at first you're just grafting and working. But my mate Tony Freeman, he'd worked his way up and he were at the 3rd or 4th stage. I think there were 300 stages or something. He were at the 3rd or 4th, and if you saw the pictures in the paper, he were at the stage where they're allowing you to wear one of the special tabards, and they're also enforcing the rule that you have to have your hair shaved in a weird pattern. Like some of them had a sideways mohawk, which looked funny, and some of them had just arbitrary islands of hair, just sporadic islands of hair, just looked like a little tropical archipelago or something. And that's when you start really learning, and once you really start learning, you get to have some one-on-one sessions with Richard Antrobus, which turns out is not as alluring as it sounds because after the verbal seminars and the workshops, when you were on a one-to-one basis with him, he preferred to administer his wisdom via the penis, So and that's illegal, isn't it? You know, not being gay, that's not illegal. I think that's fine. But being a sex offender is obviously illegal and frowned upon in almost all circles. And so the reason they got caught is because there were a sleeper there. There were an undercover copper who were in the cult studying them and reporting back. But he'd gone rogue because apparently he loved it after a bit, or I don't know, they'd cooked his brain or whatever they'd done. They'd kind of groomed him into it, and he were enjoying this penal administration of wisdom, but they'd got enough on him to get him done for tax purposes. So this Richard Antrobus now is locked up in jail, which is probably a busman's holiday for him, to be honest. And I don't know what happened to Tony Freeman. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he is. I mean, I know he's like been deprogrammed. He no longer believes that Richard Antrobus is the second bumming of Christ, but I don't know where he is. But it's mad, isn't it? There's nothing as queer as folk. Poor sods though.